Why are we so deeply fascinated by faces that refuse to smile back at us? When we look into the history of classical portraiture, we are accustomed to seeing masks. We see carefully constructed images of status, designed to project wealth, absolute confidence, or manufactured joy. But every once in a while, a painting surfaces that completely rejects the facade, an image that forces us to look directly into the quiet, uncomfortable reality of human isolation. More than 500 years ago, a young, intensely ambitious artist in Florence was given a standard commission. He was asked to paint a 16-year-old aristocratic girl named Ginevra de Benci. The painter was Leonardo da Vinci, but instead of producing a beautiful decorative ornament to celebrate a wealthy family's status, Leonardo did something completely unexpected. He captured an enigma, a portrait so psychologically heavy and emotionally detached that the longer you look into her cold alabaster face, the more you begin to realize that this isn't just a portrait of a Renaissance woman, it is a window into a trapped soul. To understand the genius of this canvas, we have to look past the subject and understand the specific philosophy of the man holding the brush. Leonardo da Vinci did not look at the world the way other artists did, where they saw sharp outlines and definitive boundaries. Leonardo saw mystery. He spent years obsessively studying the physics of light, the anatomy of the human eye, and the exact way smoke dissipates into thin air. He pioneered a revolutionary technique known as sfumato, a word derived from the Italian term for smoke. By applying hundreds of impossibly thin, translucent layers of oil paint, Leonardo completely eliminated the harsh lines separating light from shadow. If you look closely at the corners of Ginevra's eyes and the subtle contours of her mouth, you won't find a single sharp edge. Her features seem to emerge naturally from the atmosphere itself, giving her skin an eerie marble-like texture. She looks almost physical, yet entirely untouchable. Let us look closer at the striking contrast that defines the entire composition. Ginevra's pale porcelain face is framed by an incredibly dark, dense thicket of leaves. This is a juniper bush on a superficial level. This was a clever visual pun by Leonardo. The Italian word for juniper is Ginepro, a direct echo of her name, Ginevra, but Leonardo never used a symbol for a simple joke. Look at how the sharp, prickly needles of the juniper encircle her head. They form a dark, natural halo, but unlike the golden, glowing halos of saints, this halo is sharp, hostile, and dense. It creates a claustrophobic barrier directly behind her, physically locking her in place. The razor-sharp spikes of the plant were traditional symbols of virtue, but visually, they feel like a cage of thorns. Now, shift your eyes to the right side of the canvas. The dark, suffocating wall of foliage suddenly splits open, revealing a vast, infinite landscape. We see a quiet, winding river, reflecting the pale blue sky, and distant, hazy towers fading into the mountain mist. This layout is deeply psychological. Leonardo has trapped Ginevra between two conflicting worlds, a dark, sharp thicket of societal rules right behind her, and a free, infinite, peaceful world flowing quietly away in the background, completely out of her reach. But there is a profound structural tragedy to this painting that many people completely miss when looking at it today. Look at the bottom edge of the frame. The painting ends abruptly at her chest. This is not how Leonardo designed it. Originally, this panel was much larger, extending downward to show Ginevra's waist and her hands. Centuries ago, due to severe water damage or careless preservation, the bottom section of the wooden panel was callously cut away. Gone forever are the hands that Leonardo had meticulously painted. His surviving sketches reveal that Ginevra's hands were positioned elegantly, holding a small sprig of flowers against her heart. Hands, to Leonardo, were just as expressive as the face. By mutilating the bottom of this canvas, history didn't just remove a piece of wood, it completely erased the physical posture that would have fully explained the heavy internal grief she carries. Without her hands, we are left staring exclusively at her face, confronting a severe, unbroken mask of absolute isolation. On the reverse side of this very wooden panel, Leonardo painted a simple emblem with a Latin inscription that reads, "Beauty adorns virtue." It is a beautiful sentiment, but the front of the canvas tells a much darker human story. History records that Ginevra de Benci was a highly intelligent, fiercely independent poet trapped in an unhappy political marriage and surrounded by a society that valued her only as a prized possession. Leonardo saw past the wealth, he saw her mind, and in doing so, he left us a timeless masterpiece that serves as a mirror for our own lives. It forces us to ask a quiet, profound question. How often do we build a beautiful, perfect exterior for the world to admire while hiding a sharp, suffocating thicket of sorrow completely in the dark? The next time you look at this canvas, don't just admire the technique. Look into her eyes, because across 5 centuries, the silent longing of a forgotten princess is still waiting to be understood.